Welcome along to the Army Analysis Series, and today we are looking at the Kyrenean Greek 321 BC army with Libyan 549 BC allies. This is essentially a Greek hoplite army. I'm always pleased to see these kind of armies in the classical period, really, because we get a lot of the pike armies, Roman armies, Carthaginian armies, all the heavyweights, all the standard. It's nice to see a few kind of different sorts of armies. And then in the last few days, you know, I've covered the Gallic army, the Syracusan, the Spanish Sertorius 80 BC army, all these kind of a little bit different. These armies are a little bit different. They've got some impact foot, they've got some hoplites. So I'm all for that. I like these kind of armies. It makes the game more interesting. So what have we got? We've got a lot of hoplites. We've got just 3 pike units, but you know, we'll take that. At least we've got 3, and then we've got some veteran hoplites, which are pretty neat units because they've got their plus 50 from being superior quality, so that's nice as well. And then a lot of citizen hoplites. I said in another video, these units are some of the most underrated in the game. They're fantastic because they're heavy foot and they're spear. So especially against swordsmen, if they can survive impact, it works out against, as an example, the Roman hastati, which costs actually 61. I said in another video they cost 51, but it's 61. If they can survive impact, then they're actually up about 13 POA in melee. So for 42, they are a real bargain. And we have 12 of them, plus a few of the mercenary hoplites. These are the same units, they're just more maneuverable, so they're better to use on the flanks. So that's a pretty decent army. We've got about 21 units altogether at the moment, and we've got a large amount of skirmishers. We've got 11. We've also got the cheaper skirmishers, which is great. So we save a bit of cash there, points there. Got 11, and that can really help cover the infantry, disrupt enemy troops before impact. So it's nice to have the option at least to take so many. We've also got some heavy chariots, which you hardly ever see. Not so many armies have them. Let's zoom right in. I've done some tests and I've had a look at this unit. So basically heavy chariots do really well against cavalry. On impact, noble cav, they're up, they're plus 150 POA on impact. Against veteran armored cav, they're also plus 150 POA up. Against lancers, they're down 50, but you know, those lancers, you know, these type here, the superior armored lancers, they are 64. So you know, heavy chariots are 12 less. And against armored cav, they are up 200 POA on impact. So they do really well against cavalry. The only slight disadvantage is cavalry tends to evade, so they might be chasing after cav. But if you can initiate contact, then they can do really well. So for 52, they are pretty good, and they're backed up by our lancers. So we've got some fairly decent cav, although we've only got 6 units, but you know, that's a fair number for classical. It is a pity that we haven't got any javelin horse or any noble cav or any light chariots. So we just sort of drop down. Armoured Cav isn't really that good, not really good value at 40. Noble Cav is so much better because it only costs 4 more, but you get that plus 50 for their quality, superior quality. So what you're really hoping for is to survive impact against the Romans, against the warbound armies. Try to use your numbers against a lot of the pike armies. You know, you're going to have a fair advantage. A lot of them had around 17 units. We've got 21 here. So you're going to have probably an advantage in numbers, and you've certainly got an advantage with skirmishers. As I've said before, a lot of those pike armies, they had around 6 skirmisher units. Yeah, Macedonian had around 6, Pyrrhic had 6, Romans I had 8, and Seleucid was 4. So, you know, you're going to have an advantage with your skirmishers there. In terms of changing things around, there's not so much that you can do, but say we took out some skirmishers. Let's take out 4. It's 100. We could actually take out 2 more mercenary hoplites. So, you know, that gives us about 7 skirmisher units, and we've got 2 extra infantry units, so that takes us to 23 infantry, which is, you know, that's getting a really large army with those 2 extra infantry units. We could also maybe take out, say we took out these lancers, and we could maybe add some heavy chariots. So we've still got 6 mounted, and as I said, heavy chariots are pretty good against cav. And then we could maybe just add another skirmisher unit. So we've still got 6 mounted, and we've now got about 8 skirmishers. And perhaps this is the kind of build that players would go for. Maybe they'd have slightly less skirmishers and go up to about 23 infantry. That's a really large army. We've got a couple of irregular foot as well here, which is always useful for rough ground. In terms of records, there's no record for this army. There's a few players have taken this list out this season in the league, but there's no record yet. So let's see how they do. This is a little bit like the Persians. This army used to be just in the biblical period, but now we've got a few lists that are in classical. So let's see how they do. Obviously, in biblical, they were probably doing a bit better because of hoplites and heavy chariots. They're just going to probably cope better than in classical against all the impact in the Roman legionnaires and the Carthaginian veteran spear. It's going to be more difficult. But you know, you could still do fairly well, I think, because these hoplites can hold and do well against a lot of troops, and they're at such a good price, 42. With all these extra numbers, you're going to be hoping that you can do some damage, that you can hold, maybe get your pikes in the middle, maybe put some generals in them, I don't know, you know, just try to get, because you have got some veteran hoplites as well. So we've got 5 half decent units to hold our centre while we do our best to swarm around the enemy and use our extra numbers. My rating, maybe about a B plus. I think I'm going to go around about a B plus because we've got a lot of infantry units. We've got some nice heavy chariots. We've got some flexibility. Some of the last few armies, we haven't had as much flexibility as we have here because, you know, if you want extra skirmishers, you can take them out. If you want to, you know, add more infantry, you can do that. Nice to have heavy chariots at 52. That means, you know, you could save some points and take them instead of the lancers and add another skirmisher. That's nice. But yeah, we haven't got any impact foot. We haven't got any. Well, we've only got 2 superior quality units. The veteran hoplites. Everything else is average. Yeah, even this is average as well. Even the irregular foot. So yeah, you're just going to hope that you can hold and then use your numbers. So about a B plus, I think is a fair rating. If you're playing with this army, let us know how you're doing. If you're playing against it, you know, share your memories and your experiences with us. And yeah, about a B plus from me. Thanks a lot for watching and see you again soon.